Now from playbookgamer.com, and today we are starting our first Dynasty in NCAA Football 07. As you can see, I have decided to pick Cincinnati. This has been a long time request, so I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and pick them for several reasons. One, they had a bad season the previous year. They are a B- overall team. It doesn't show that here, but you can go and look in the rosters. But they're B- overall. Also, it's been many, many years since I've done a Big East Dynasty, and I've never went beyond like one season. So I'm really excited to do a Big East Dynasty. So let's go ahead and get started with the Cincinnati Bearcats. Let's create our coach. Let's get this stuff out of the way. I wanted to show you this first. I didn't know if there were any options. I'm guessing they didn't add anything to this, but we'll check and see. We can put in our name here if I can get to it. Yes, hair color. I'm a blonde. They got medium, mullet, balding. You can do hat, visor, short. Nothing has changed there. I got to stick with the mullet. Face, we'll go with the young one. Glasses, no. Body, we'll just go small. This is what I usually go with. So no big changes there from 06. So I think we're good to go. We got the contracts on. And let's go ahead and get started. Now what we're going to go through today is the normal preseason rigmarole. But we're going to also look through our playbook, our new offense. And with the new practice mode edition into Dynasty mode, that'll be a good way to show some of that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. We'll do that at the end of the video. We'll go through our normal stuff first. Really excited about this Dynasty. Should be a lot of fun. I don't want to touch the sliders, hardly any, during the season. I want a solid 12 to 13 games to get a rough idea of what's considered pretty good or not. And we can go ahead and I'll just show you. This is a good opportunity to talk about this. Again, this is what I've been using for the last game or so. Here you see the human offense and the CPU offense. Now, one thing I did change was I lowered the CPU accuracy to 35. It was at 40. We're going to leave it at that for the rest of the year, and we'll just see how that goes. I thought at 40%, Sean Glennon for Virginia Tech, he played lights out. And I mean, he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's that good. So we're going to see how that plays out this season. You go to the human defense. I haven't changed anything else besides that one I just talked about. Then you got the CPU defense. I'll eventually put a lot of this stuff on the website. I just haven't got around to it yet. Special teams, I haven't changed anything here either. Then you got the CPU special teams. Again, gameplay, Heisman, we're going to do 6 minutes. I'm okay with that length. I feel like the game speeds up a little bit more just because of the clock changes and such. I'm going to keep Campus Challenge on. I did turn injuries back on. So I think we're all good here. There's nothing else really to show you at this point with that. I do not want to save it yet. Okay, let's go to our preseason options. First, we got our custom schedule. Now, here's what we're going to do. Here's our default. Wow, look at that. Number 1 and number 21, Virginia Tech. Now, I wrote down who Cincinnati's rivals are, and it's Miami of Ohio and Louisville. Miami is on the schedule. I want to keep them there for that reason. And thankfully, so is Louisville. They are in the Big East, so we should be good there. I'm just going to try not to forget to keep Miami of Ohio on the schedule every single year, just for the heck of that rivalry purpose. Okay. We should have 12 games on the list. Let's go ahead and count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we are good there. I will probably leave all of this as is. Even probably Akron. We're going to switch up a few things here. I'll keep Ohio State. I don't mind doing that. That's going to be our one big tough game. We are a 2-star program. I don't know if you noticed that at the beginning of the video. So I want to schedule 2 ranked teams. We already have Louisville and West Virginia is already on the list, so I may play somebody else. I don't want to play every single game with an Ohio team or playing in Ohio. We're going to play in Ohio enough. So at Ohio was great. Then we got Miami. That's going to be the most of the non-conference Ohio that I want to do this season. I don't want to play an FCS school here. Let's start off with Duke at home. I'd rather do that. Miami, we want to switch out Akron. Let's switch out with somebody else. How many home and aways do we have? We should do 6 and 6 if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's 7. I think everybody does 7 home games, 5 away, which is fine. So that's what we'll do. Let's switch out Akron with somebody else. I don't want to play another Ohio school. We'll just pick somebody in the FBS. ECU may be a good one. I'm just trying to pick of somebody that's pretty similar in talent. Like Florida Atlantic may be a good one. We can do Florida Atlantic, play a Florida school. I'm sure we got a Florida school on our conference schedule. Yeah, South Florida is in our conference. Louisville, Syracuse, Rutgers, Connecticut, West Virginia. So I'm okay with Florida Atlantic. I'm okay with that one. The only reason I want to switch out Virginia Tech is because we just played them in the exhibition game. So I want to play another ranked team besides them. We may not have that option, but I want to schedule 2 non-conference ranked teams. Texas Tech's a possibility. Tennessee, I would do that, but we just played them in the Mississippi State video or season. So I want to do play somebody a little bit different. Maybe Oklahoma, that may be too tough. I'm already playing number 1 Ohio State. Nebraska. Nebraska's is that on the road? Yeah, let's do Nebraska. That'd be pretty good. I know in this season, in 2007, they were still in the Big 12. So we got a Big 12 team on the schedule. So I'm okay with all of that. I think that's a good schedule. We got Pitt. It is what it is there. But we got Duke, Pitt, at Ohio State, at Nebraska. That's just going to be a tough road to hoe right there. Then it lets up a little bit, playing our rival, Miami of Ohio. Florida Atlantic after them, and then we get to the heart of our conference schedule. At Louisville, really tough. South Florida, Syracuse at home. At West Virginia, Rutgers, pretty good chance Rutgers will be a recruiting weekend. At Connecticut, that's the only thing that worries me. It looks like Syracuse and Rutgers will be, hopefully, in USF. We got to get some recruits coming in those 3 weeks. So I think I'm okay with that schedule. We still got a B+ strength of schedule, which is fine for a Big East team. I like what I'm seeing here. We got 4 ranked games. So if anybody complains about my strength of schedule, I mean, come on. Number 9, number 10, number 1, and number 20. I mean, it is what it is. Pretty good schedule. Okay, we're going to keep that schedule. Now let's go to redshirt players. Here's a good chance to look at our roster a little bit. And we can talk about these when we get to the practice mode portion of the video. But let's start off at the very beginning. This is the entire team. And as you can see at the very top, we got 63 total players. 14 seniors. So 7 plus 14, that's 21. So our first recruiting class is going to be a pretty good size. We're probably going to go for the full thing if we can. We may have to over-recruit a couple players. Because if you go here, you notice I got a ton of players in the 60s. All 65 guys. A lot of them are young. So I may recruit over a couple. I don't want to do that. But the fact that I have to have at least 21 guys to fill up to 70. I always want to try to get to 70 if I can every season. Then we're going to try to go for a full-blown class this year. So we have no freshmen. We got a ton of sophomores, a bunch of juniors, and not a whole lot of seniors. So now before we get into our positions, you can see who our top 6 players are. We got our tight end. The offense is going to go through him. We'll talk about that later. We got a really strong kicker who's a senior as well, Silic. Our tight end is a senior. We're very fortunate here. We got an impact corner, Mike Mickens. He's a sophomore. That's what I like about that. So we're going to have him for a few more years at least. So I'm looking forward to seeing him progress. We also have a free safety, a junior, Haruki Nakamura. Reminds me of Shinsuke Nakamura, if any of you wrestling fans out there. But he's just a junior, so that's good. We got a senior middle linebacker at 82 overall, Kevin McCullough. And Butler Benton, a junior, at halfback. The offense is going to go through him quite a bit as well. And if you notice here, we don't have a whole lot of guys in the 80s. Everybody's either an 80 or these right here. So we got some talent, but we kind of don't. I mean, for the Big East, it's probably fine. But like I said before, we are a B- overall team. So let's start by position. Then we'll do our red shirting. We're going to have a bit of a quarterback battle. We got Dustin Grutza. He is considered the starter. He's a redshirt sophomore, 78 overall. None of these guys have any speed, and we're going to run a pro-style spread offense. Again, we'll talk about that later. We need somebody who can throw. The guy behind him is Nick Davila. I think this was the guy who was in 06. I think he's a lefty, if I'm not mistaken. We can check here. It's been a long time since I've used a lefty. Does it say it? No, we don't want to do that. Okay. Either way, he's a senior. And then we got Tony Pike. Now, if anybody knows who Tony Pike is, he was the one that really got Cincinnati going when, what's his face, the head coach at Notre Dame. His name escapes me. Anyway, when he was at Cincinnati rocking and rolling, Tony Pike was his quarterback. We're going to redshirt Tony Pike. We won't need him this season. And Grutza and Davila, one of the two will be playing most of the snaps, hopefully all the snaps this season. So we're going to redshirt Tony Pike. And behind him is a redshirt sophomore, big kid, Craig Carey. But he's only 68 overall. You can look at our throwing powers and accuracies. Here, it's pretty obvious Grutza and Davila. Grutza's just a little bit better arm than Davila, but they're practically the same. There's not a whole lot of difference. But you kind of see what we're dealing with. Thankfully, we got some accuracy to work with because we are going to throw. It's going to be a balanced offense, more or less. We're just going to work around our talent. But I just wanted you to see that stuff. I haven't decided who's going to start, probably Grutza, and we'll just see how that goes. Okay, now let's go to halfbacks. We got 2 seniors, 2 juniors, 1 freshman. We got a junior, senior, senior, and a freshman. I don't want to redshirt any seniors. That seems kind of a waste. Now, we got an 82 overall all the way down to 78. So we got 4 guys that are all kind of the same player. They're all about the same speed. These 3 guys got better strength than this kid right here. The carry rating, this is a big deal for me. 76, 70, that's a big drop-off. 76 and 76, so it's just kind of like, they're all kind of the same guys. But Benton and Moore will probably play most of the snaps. I may end up redshirting Bradley Gladhar. I don't know how you say that last name. And we'll probably redshirt John Jabel, however you want to say that. So we're going to have these 3 guys carrying most of the load. Because, you notice, we're very upperclassman heavy at the halfback position. So we're going to rotate the ball or the snaps for those 3 guys for the most part. And we'll just see how all that goes. But we're going to redshirt these 2 guys for now. We are running basically a spread offense, so I'm not going to use a whole lot of fullbacks. But we already got 3 guys here. The only problem is I can't redshirt any of them. But the good news is we got a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior. So we're kind of set here for the foreseeable future if I use any. You'll look in the playbook later how I will be able to use some of these guys in some form or fashion. Wide receiver, since we're basically a spread offense, we're going to be in our base personnel is going to be 11 personnel. At least that's what my goal is. Now, you'll notice at the tight end position, that's going to change a little bit for this season. But anyway, I'd like to have a minimum of 6 wide receivers on the roster at all times. And as you can tell here, we got an 80 overall, 78, and it's just a big drop-off after that. Nothing really super exciting, anything to get excited about. We may redshirt Derek Stewart. He's a sophomore. Just to have somebody come back next year to help out. So these 5 guys are going to get all of the snaps at wide receiver. Again, nobody really to get excited about, except this kid right here, Dominic Goodman. He'll probably be our slot receiver, because I prefer to have some speed in the slot, and he's a 92 speed. You can look at the catch here. 82, 80, 76, 76. It is what it is there. Tight end, here's what we're really excited about. This is our best player, Brent Sillick. Like I said, the offense is going to go through him, but look below him. We got a true sophomore, Connor Barwin, 78 overall, 72 speed. But his backup, we got a redshirt freshman that's probably better, to be honest. Just probably, same as awareness. But he's got 80 speed at tight end. That's incredible for a redshirt freshman. Now you go to the catch. None of these 2 guys can catch all that great, but it's good enough. So what we're going to do, since Sillick is a senior, we're probably going to redshirt Barwin, and we're going to have these 2 guys do most of the work. That way Barwin comes back, and then it'll be Barwin and Kazim Ali. Will be our 2 main studs at tight end next season, unless I pick up a true freshman that's really good. We'll see. But we're going to redshirt Barwin for now, only because he's still pretty young. And Selleck, everything's going to go through him. We're going to have a couple 2 tight end sets where we're going to get both tight ends involved. So as you can tell, 88 and 76 are our 2 tight ends. And you go to wide receivers, 80, 78, and it's a big drop-off. So you can kind of tell that 12 personnel, the 2 tight end sets, will be pretty important for us this season. I'm going to use some formation subs to get these 2 guys out as well, because that 80 speed at tight end, we're going to take advantage of it if possible. Okay, now I haven't been taking any notes in terms of recruiting. We'll go through that here in a little bit. But as you can tell, we're kind of limited at tackle. We got 4 juniors. All of them are coming back next year, but we're going to need to pick up some guys. 78 and 74 are going to be our 2 starters. I'm not going to redshirt anybody here. Guard, 2 seniors, 2 juniors, a sophomore, and no freshman. Our top 2 players is a junior and a senior. Then a redshirt senior and a redshirt junior. So they're very top-heavy in terms of upperclassmen. So I may end up recruiting a guard here down the road. Maybe even this during the regular season. But as we all know, we've jumped the snap in 07. We've been able to mitigate it some with our sliders, but at least we can now prioritize offensive linemen even more because of it. So I'm going to pay extra attention to offensive linemen going forward. Especially defensive linemen as well, because they are the other half of the jump to snap. Center, nothing special, 74 overall, a junior, and a backup is a redshirt junior, 72 overall. I may end up starting Flores just because he's got better awareness. I truly believe that affects the high snaps, so we're going to be in the shotgun most of the time. We'll worry about that later. We only have 4 defensive ends, a senior, junior, 2 sophomores. 2 guys in the 80s, that's not bad, and they got some decent speed to them. So I like what I see here, but we need to add more bodies here. Now, while I'm talking about defensive ends, if anybody out there can verify for me if moving linebackers down to defensive end, if it's still pretty effective in 07. If it's not, then I need to start recruiting legit defensive ends instead of moving linebackers down. So if anybody can confirm that for me, that that's still pretty effective, let me know. Defensive tackles, we have 5 of them here. We got a bunch of young guys, 4 sophomores and a junior. We'll redshirt 1 of them. I like to have 4 active at all times. We got 2 sophomores here. We'll probably just redshirt this guy, I guess, Patrick Mims. We don't have a whole lot of size here at defensive tackle. Everybody's under 300 pounds, and I prefer to have the bigger the better in terms of weight at defensive tackle. We got a lot of bodies at outside linebacker. Now, we're going to run a 4-3. I'm sure you already knew that, but we are going to run a 4-3. And 3 juniors, a sophomore, and 2 freshmen. Corey Smith is definitely going to start. I don't know who's going to start the other linebacker position. It's going to be Lennox or Jones. One's a true freshman. He's got a lot less awareness. I mean, it's pretty bad. His tackle's probably better. A little bit better. What I may end up doing to maximize some of this, I don't know. We'll think about that, but we got a junior here. If one of these were seniors, I would go ahead and redshirt Lennox, but I think I'm going to start him. I'm just going to go ahead and let him get his lumps in and get him the reps, and we'll have good backups here. I may redshirt John Carpenter. I normally don't like the redshirt juniors, but we'll go ahead and do it just because we got so many bodies. And after this year, we're really going to need some help at linebacker. Speaking of, middle linebacker. Big drop-off here after our number 1 starter, Kevin McCullough. 68, 65, 65. Nothing to get excited about. So we're definitely going to have to recruit some middle linebackers. Now, if the linebacker, the defensive end position change holds true in 07, then I may end up moving this kid down to defensive end. And Angelo Craig, 6'5", 235. Seems like a perfect fit for a defensive end. So we may do that. Cornerback, I don't need a ton of cornerbacks. I rarely go, it's usually 4-3 and nickel. So I only need 2 and 3 at the most. We got 5 here. But as you can see, we got one really good one that we're super excited about. But after that, it's a big drop-off. And every one of these guys aren't my ideal type of corner, so we're going to have to go get some guys. Now, the difference between, I think I may redshirt Tolbert. Because Bowie and Smith, or Tolbert and Bowie, there's not a whole lot of difference. Awareness. Yeah, Horton has to be my other starter. He's got 84 awareness. That's incredible. So Bowie will probably be my nickel back. So I'm perfectly fine with that. So we're going to redshirt Tolbert. Free safety. We got Again, Haruki Nakamura, he's a junior. Really excited about this kid for a couple seasons. But it's a drop-off after that. His backup is a senior, so we definitely need a free safety. We're going to recruit one in the regular season. We'll do that here in a little bit. But for now, we're going to leave all that as is. And strong safety, we got a senior and a sophomore. Our starting safety is a 74 overall. He's not very fast. Just nothing to get excited about. I would start Gilliard if he didn't have such poor awareness. But there's nothing we're going to do here. We're not going to redshirt any of them. Kicker, we got 2 kickers. One's obviously the better one of the 2, but he's a senior. So I don't know if Brandon Yingling, pretty cool name, is going to get a whole lot of help in training. If not, we may actually go after a kicker in the offseason. We'll see. But we're not going to redshirt anybody here. And punter, we got a redshirt sophomore at 76 overall. I'm actually okay with that. So we don't need to go after a punter for a couple of seasons. So that is it. Let's remove all the red shirts. Now let's go to coach options. Let's go get this out of the way and let's talk a little bit about some things. Playbook, this is all for simulation purposes, so I don't know what their playbook looks like, but it shouldn't matter. Offensive type, we're going to go with a spread offense, but we're going to run a lot of pro-style philosophies and nuances and such. This is all simulation. We're not going to simulate anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and put everything at 50. Because ours is going to be a balanced offense, but none of what I'm doing here really matters. Let's go to defensive strategy. We are a 4-3 team. We'll just go 50. Again, this is only for simulation purposes, so let's just put everything at 50. Here's another way to sub less and more, again, if you're simulating games, which I don't like to do. We're going to turn recruiting systems off. We're going to turn discipline off. So let's go back to offensive strategy, and I think we are good here. Let's go to report card. Congratulations on being appointed the new head coach at Cincinnati. It is what it is. Here are our goals. Beat Miami, beat Ohio State, and receive a bowl bid. I'd like to think we can get 2 of the 3. I don't know how good Miami is. Okay. Let's go to our rosters, and we'll do our playbook and stuff at the end. Let's go to our depth chart. Let's get this settled. For now, Game 1 starters will be Grutza, but we'll probably do a 2-quarterback system, get a feel for which one just plays better, and we'll probably roll with that guy. But for now, we're going to leave this as is. And as you can see, Nick Davila is a lefty. It's been a long time since I've used a lefty quarterback. I'm actually looking forward to fooling around with some of that. They got a lot more left-handed PE reads in this game, too, which is pretty cool. Halfback, for now, these are my 3 main guys. I'm going to just leave them as is. I'm going to use a lot of formation subs to get these guys involved without me having to shuffle in and out so much. None of them are impact players, so I'm okay with splitting the reps with all 3. Fullback, I'm okay with this. We're going to do a lot of twin halfback stuff, so I don't know. We'll probably just leave this as is for now. Wide receiver, I prefer to have Goodman as my number 3 guy, so let's just go ahead and put him right there. So Jackson, 6'3", 215. He's my X. Gibbs is my Z, and Goodman is my slot guy. Or sometimes people will treat him as S or F for fast. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. And then after that, we got these 2 guys, and I'm okay with all of that. You're not going to see a whole lot of 4 and 5 wide stuff this year, just because we don't have the talent to do so. After our 2 main wide receivers, it's kind of a drop-off. But I like this guy. He's a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. Hey, he's actually less weight. He's taller. I'm sure their run blocks are 40 and 44. I still would prefer to have... You know what I may end up doing? It just now occurred to me. Let's put in Goodman right here. And I just may do some formation subs for Goodman in the slot. We'll talk about that later. I think that's a good idea. Because I'm going to run a lot of 2 wide sets, 21 and 12 personnel, and I want to make sure Goodman is in there. I haven't really gave that full much thought in terms of... I'm not going to do a whole lot of slot stuff in terms of option related. Kind of, sort of. Again, we'll talk about that later. For now, I'll just leave that as is. Okay, Selleck and Ollie, that is right. I like where that's at. Left tackle, Rodriguez is going to be our starting left tackle. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Center, we are going to start Flores instead just because his awareness is a little bit better. A little bit stronger, too. Right guard, let's put in Simon right here. Ryan Statler is going to be our starting right guard. Right tackle, we're going to go right here. Now, one thing when you talk about with tackles, I'm going to be pulling a lot of tackles in this offense, so speed at tackle position is kind of important. So a tackle at 72 or 62 speed is actually really fast. This guy's just got 56. I got to pay attention to that when I recruit tackles. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the practice mode. Okay, defensive end. Let's look at both. We need to start Anderson over here. And we're going to put a Hoke. He's our backup for each one. Let's do Hoke and let's do Helms right here. I want these two guys to start. Carviti and Trevor Anderson. I'm okay with that. Defensive tackle. It's like, who do you start here? I'm going to probably go with Newton's definitely going to start. And between these two guys, it's like, I don't know. Who do you start? They're going to be playing a lot. Defensive tackles tire easily in these games, so I'm not too worried about this setup right here. They're two true sophomores anyways. This guy's a little bit stronger. I'm okay with that for now. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, outside linebacker, let's check both sides. We got 74 left outside linebacker. It's 78. He's definitely a starter or impact guy on defense. Their second guy, Corey Smith. Jones, and looks like Jones will be our backup outside linebacker, which I'm okay with. Unless they got another right outside linebacker. This kid right here, we may just do that. Middle linebacker, let's just go ahead and do that and get another one right here. I love this Ferguson kid. He's got 85 speed, which is incredible at middle linebacker. He's just not very smart. He's only got 59 awareness. That's why his overall's down so low. But I like what I'm seeing there. Okay, corner. I'm okay with this. I would prefer to have, yes, Horton at my other corner. Do I got another corner here that I can put? Nope, can't do that. Let's go back. There we go. All right, we're just going to leave that as is. We're not going to do any dime. We're going to do some nickel against the 4 and 5 wide sets like usual. Free safety, 84 and 82, or 72. Everything looks good there. Strong safety. Yeah, he's got much better awareness, but we're kind of hurting here at strong safety. Kind of no different than the Mississippi State Dynasty. Last season, at least. Kicker, that looks good. Punter, I'm okay with that. Kickoff return, I did not think about this. Let's just go ahead and put Goodman. And let's do a halfback. Let's look at catch. I know the catches will be a whole lot better. I prefer to have some speed there. So let's just do Jackson and Moore. So I'm okay with that. Goodman, Jackson, Moore. We'll go Goodman, Jackson, Moore. Okay. Kickoff starters, I'm okay with that. Long snapper, let's have our backup, Duenas, as our long snapper. I'm okay with that. And we're good there. Now let's do our captains. That's all based off seniority and awareness. So like Antoine Horton, I'm pretty sure he is a team captain, and he is. And offensive team captain should be Selleck, and he is. So we are good there. We can look at program standards. As you can see, we're a little bit below half. We got a lot of points to use, so we're going to try to get that bar down as best we can this season so we don't have to put so many points in it in the future. I think we're good there. We'll talk about the playbook stuff here in a little bit. We've went through coach options. Let's go to ESPN the magazine. Preseason polls. I don't know where they have us. I'm sure we're down here somewhere. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we can check here. Oh, wow, we're all the way down. We are 97th in the country. As you can see here, we're B- overall, C+ on offense and on defense, and B+ special teams. Now, there's coaches poll and media poll. That's all after week 4. That may be a new edition the way that's set up. I'm not really sure. But either way, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, and we got to face Ohio State here in a couple weeks. Let's look at Heisman Watch. course, we don't have anybody on here. What's funny, they got Brady Quinn throwing a lefty, even though he's a righty. I'm pretty sure he's a righty. Can they show if it's... Yeah, he's a right-hander. But for whatever reason, they got him throwing lefty in that picture. Adrian Peterson. We got to go up against Troy Smith. I'm pretty sure he won the Heisman that year. This coming year we're fixing to do here. Then we got Chris Leak. Florida, say they got another lefty. Okay, now they got righty Brian Braun. We're going to take on him during the season. Looking forward to that one. All right, let's go to preseason All-Americans. First team All-Americans. I'm guessing we don't have anybody on the first or second team, unless it's like Selleck, and it's not. But we should have somebody on the All-Big East team. First teamers. We have nobody on the first team All-Big East, which is interesting. Not even a tight end. Clark Harris is the main tight end there. Hopefully we'll change that this year. There we go. He's second team tight end. And we got a guard, John Tobin. And that's it. Only three guys, our kicker. We got 3 out of 24 players, 24 plus, on the All-Big East team. Conference outlook. They got us dead last in the Big East, so I'm glad we picked them. Should be a fun ride to try to bring these guys up to the top and try to win the Big East. Also, that's the other reason why I wanted to pick the Big East, was because I've been told that sometimes if you're a Big East team, you may get promoted or invited to a bigger conference. Wouldn't that be cool to see Cincinnati in the Big Ten or the ACC? So hopefully we can pull that off in this dynasty. But right now we're dead last, so I kind of like that. Gives us something to shoot for. Toughest places to play. I'm sure this has been a whole completely different than from last season. This doesn't really affect us a whole lot, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, what else are we missing? Let's go to in-season recruiting. Okay, this is where it's going to get interesting. It's still 12 scholarships available. We're going to recruit locally. It just makes sense. Try to keep it around our border states and such. So let's see what our pipeline states are. We need to write these down. Let's go here. And let's just keep going and see. California is a pipeline. I'm not going to use that just because that's just way too far off. It's going to just cost us a ton of points to recruit in California every year, even if they are a pipeline. Let's see. Kentucky is definitely going to be one of our pipelines going forward. I wanted to get a lot of kids out of Kentucky. It's close. Of course, we will have Michigan. We're going to keep that as a pipeline just because it's a border state. And as you can tell by the bar, the very right, far right, they got a lot of players in the state of Michigan for recruiting purposes. Let's keep going. We should have Ohio next. And we're going to write that down. Of course, that will always stay as a pipeline. And that may be it. West Virginia may be a possibility. Nope, that's it. So I wish I could look at the map. I don't have one in front of me. I'm not too worried about that yet. Either way, I'm going to exclude California. So we got Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio. One thing I do need to look at, let's go right through these again real quick. West Virginia, Pennsylvania is right beside us. I want to turn that into a pipeline if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and I want that one to be a pipeline as well. But thankfully, between Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky, we should be able to get a ton of recruits. There's so much talent in Michigan and Ohio alone. So that should be helpful for us. So let's start out in Ohio. Now, let's talk about our team right here. We're going to run a spread offense. We're going to run a lot of 11 base personnel, that type of stuff. Now, when it comes to quarterbacks, I'm treating this as a pro-style offense, but it's from the shotgun formations. So I need a guy who can really throw it. Hey, if he could run the ball, that's pretty cool too. But I prefer the guy who can really throw it. The problem is in in-season recruiting, you do not know if these guys can throw the ball or not. You don't know until you actually put a scholarship on them, and then you'll see afterwards. So you just don't know. I'd prefer to at least try to go after one. I want some height. like, again, I want a pro-style quarterback, more or less. It says balanced, balanced, and balanced. And a quarterback isn't a big need right now, especially if Grutza does his thing. So I'm not too worried about quarterback just yet. So let's just keep going. I'm not excited about any of these, except for maybe this kid right here. I like 4.78. I like his size, but we just don't know if he can. Again, I want a pro-style quarterback, but if he could run a little bit, that's okay too. Let's just go ahead and put one. And let's just wait. It's not a big priority. Now, we are a 2-star program, so I'm not going to go anything below. I'm going to go 3-star pretty much going forward, except I'm going to go after some 4 stars in state. I'm not going to go after 4 stars out of state just yet. So let me go. This kid's a 3-star. Let's go ahead and put one on Michael Johnson. Let's get that one out of the way. Halfback. This is kind of interesting. I'm going to do some in-between tackle and running. I'm going to do off-tackle type stuff. Like, here's 2 3-star kids. This kid's much stronger, and 4.39 is still decent speed. I want somebody who can break tackles and who won't fumble as much. So I need somebody who's got great squat. Bench press is how strong they are. Squat is their carry rating. So let's put one on Beach for now. I like, look at 230. Big kid. Not worried about fullback. Wide receiver, as you can see here, we need at least one. I prefer, see, again, you don't know what their catch rating is. We got some really tall kids, 6'4", 6'4", 6'5". They all about look the same. This kid's pretty smart, and he's stronger than the rest of them. So let's take a chance on this 3-star kid, Andrew Sears. Okay? I like him out of the 3. I like his awareness, and I like his size, because he's going to block for us as well. So I'm okay with that. Tight end, we need some speed here, and 4.73 just isn't going to cut it. But we got bodies at tight end, so I'm not too worried about going after a guy at tight end just yet. We got other pressing matters. As you can see here, I'm really worried about offensive line and the back 7 of, or at least our secondary on defense. But I want to get 1 tackle and 1 guard. We're going to wait on these yet. 4.7, 6.55. Now, I need a speedster. That's the thing at tackles, because a lot of our pulling plays are going to be tackles pulling. So 5.24 seems pretty slow to me, so we're going to wait. Guard, we need humongous dudes. Like this kid right here would be perfect. 6'4", 344. He's got better bench. This kid's a 4-star, but his size is great. So I want to go after him. Center, we don't have anybody here. Defensive end, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to go after these type of guys yet, even though we'll do that in the offseason until somebody can confirm about the linebacker thing I was talking about earlier. Defensive tackle, we're good. Outside linebacker, we got bodies. Let's do pressing needs. Let's go from middle linebacker forward. 6'3", 220. I like his speed. And he's smart. 3-star kid, Seth Hicks. And he's stronger. His squat's a little stronger at least. Wow, that kid's a stocky son of a gun. 5'9", 234. 4'6". I'm okay with that speed. 3-star. That's interesting. That'd be weird seeing him at defensive end if that ever happened. He's definitely got the better bench of the bunch. I got 8 scholarships left. Let's do 2. Let's go after those 2 guys. Corner. We all know what we need here. Let's go after the tallest, best corner I can find. 6'1", 6. I'm not really seeing anything special here. This kid, maybe. Tim Miller, possibly. 6'1", 187. He may be the 1 4-star guy we'll go after. Don't know if we have a chance, but he's only 6'1". Let's just wait. I really want some height here. Free safety, we need help here. We need speed and smarts, and I'm not seeing either. This guy's slow and smart. This guy's faster and not as smart. So I'm not excited about either one of those, so let's just keep going. Free safety, we need help here, but we don't have anybody to see here. Okay, let's go to Michigan. Quarterback, we're going after 1. Now, again, this is Michigan. We're going to do nothing but 3 stars for now. This kid is definitely a pocket passer. He's probably got a better arm. Chris Miller, I may take a chance on him. But we'll see. We still got to look at Kentucky next. I'm going to wait on that one. Halfback, They all have the same squats. This one's a little stronger and a little faster. This guy may be one worth going after. Tony Jackson. He's faster and he's a little bit stronger on the bench. And he's smarter. So this seems like the ideal type of guy. Let's just put one on him. Wide receiver. Here's a speed 4.39. He's not very smart though. He's definitely a slot receiver for me. I'm not really that excited. If he was like a 4.31 or something, it'd be a little bit different. Here's a 4-star. We're not going to go after him. 4.33. That's even slower. Guard. Here's 4. Let's keep going. Defensive end. Not worried about that. Outside linebacker. He's too slow. Middle linebacker. We're already going after a couple. All these guys would be okay, but if I'm not mistaken, I've already put a couple on some Ohio kids already. Corner, 5'11", slow. I just do not like that. Free safety, he's a 4-star. I'm not going to bother. Strong safety, I'm not going to bother. So we only saw one guy out of Michigan that we liked. So we still got 5 spots left. So hopefully Kentucky can give us something to be excited about. Let's look here. As you can tell, they got some talent. 4-star kid, Bobby Campbell. I'd love to go after him, but he's a 4-star. I'm not going to wait on that one. We've already done okay at... Here's another 5'11", 230 kid. 4.39, St. Matthews, Kentucky. But we're already going after 2 guys. I may wait on that one. We need to keep this as a pipeline, though. So, guard, 6'3", 310. And we need help at guard, don't we? We're going after 1. 4.96, 70 is not bad. Let's go ahead and put... No, he's a 4-star. My bad. Never mind. Sorry. Defensive end, we're not going to bother. Middle linebacker, here's a 3-star, 6 feet, 234. Out of Covington. 4'6", that's not bad. Let's just wait. Corner, strong safety, nothing there. So we still got 5 spots to use. So we may have to go back to Ohio and... Let's go back and look at Kentucky one more time before I don't have to come back. He's a 4-star. This kid, let's look at Pennsylvania next before I start wasting scholarships on some guys I'm just iffy about. Now Pennsylvania is not a pipeline, but I want to turn it into one. As you can tell, at the bar on the far right, they got a lot of kids. Halfback, 2 3-stars. Nothing truly special, and again, I've already got going after 2. I don't want to get too many halfbacks out of the 12. 2's enough. Tight end, here's a 3-star. He's too slow because I'm going to use a tight end that's got some speed about him. Tackle, this may be an issue. It's not going to be an issue, but it may be a reality of the fastest tackles I may find are 5'2", 4 guys. And if that's the case, then I may just be stuck with them. It may be is what it is. Again, we've already went after guards. So let me just look at the 6'4", 335. I like this kid. Let's go after him. Humongous, 3-star. I think that's perfect for our system. Defensive end, I'm not worried. Good thing is, you notice the defensive ends are much faster. And the biggest reason why linebackers do better at defensive ends sometimes than 06 is because of their strength. You see a typical guy right here, 4-star, 325 and 555. But then you go to middle linebackers, look at the squats, 640, 380 on the bench. Linebackers, for whatever reason, they're just much stronger than these defensive ends. But at least it's cool to see they got some speed at defensive end now. 4-star, 4-star, 4-star. Here's a 3. 4.41. He's not really smart, though. I like his height. Not super excited about that. All right, we still got 4 scholarships to give. Those are the pipelines that I care about. I'd like to go after some Tennessee kids, to be honest. That's only a 4-hour trip. I may do that just because I'm a Tennessee guy. Let's look at Tennessee. That may be my 5th or 4th one. Let's look and see what they got. Here's a 3-star kid out of Lexington, Tennessee, 6'2", 203, pocket passer. I may take a chance on him. Him and maybe that kid from Michigan later. Let's keep going. 4.41, Kyle Graham. Wide receiver, 3-star, 4.31. He's not very smart, but he's fast. But let's take a chance on this kid, Brennan Bass. Or Bass. I'm guessing it's Bass. Let's put one on him just because of the speed. Tight end, guard. Here's a defensive tackle, 4-star. Outside linebacker, 4'6". That's still kind of slow. Looks like he's a better middle linebacker. 4-star kids, 4-star, 4-star. 3-star strong safety. I like his size, and his 4'1" is not bad to me. So, Joey Nakfor. I don't know how you say that, but I kind of like what I'm seeing here. His awareness isn't all that great, but I love his size. I mean, he is built like an outside linebacker. And a 4'1" speed, I don't mind going after him. Okay, so the last two spots, we can look here. We couldn't find a free safety or a corner to get excited about, so let's just go back to Ohio. Free safety. Here's these two 3-stars. I'm just not excited about either one of them. Let's go to corner. Let's take a chance on this 4. This is the one 4-star out of the in-state that we're going to go after for now. Let's put one on him. And then we're just going to have to wait in the offseason to get a better free safety. Thankfully, Nakamura will be back next year, hopefully. So we won't need whoever we're going to get this recruiting cycle to start next year. So I'm not too worried about that. Defensive end, we'll worry about that in the offseason. So let's go get us a quarterback. We're going after one. Let's go find another one. Let's take a chance on another one. Let's go to the Michigan kid. I liked his height, 6'2", 183. What was the other one? Pennsylvania. It was a Kentucky. Kentucky, I think, only had a 4-star kid. He was a 4-star. So Michigan, Pennsylvania, maybe it's Tennessee, the one I was liking. Let's go after the one from Tennessee. I think that's him. 6'2", 203 pocket passer. Let's just take a chance on him. Again, I'd like to turn this into a pipeline, just because it's only a 4-hour drive from Cincinnati to my hometown. So let's just go after Frank Smith. All right, those are our scholarships. Now, when you go to the play week, we're playing our very first game, so we're not going to be able to do the recruiting stuff until after this game. Because if you go here, it's still showing like you got to go after 12 guys. So we're good and we're set there. So now, I think it's in my best interest to save this, and we'll talk about... Go here, and we'll go here. And I got a bunch of Dynasty files saved. I don't know why. 616. This must have been way back. Let's delete some of these. And we'll talk about our offense, and we'll get into practice mode and all that good stuff. Let's just delete all these, and then we're going to save. I don't even know what these were for. These were back in June for whatever reason. And let's just go Dynasty 1. Okay, next up, we're going to look at our playbook. And we're going to look at that in the practice mode. There's no reason to look at it. Well, I can show you the playbook on the outside of it. I haven't done my audibles yet, but I'll show you what I'm talking about schematically, as we'll break all that down in practice mode. Now is the perfect time to do it instead of the next video, which will be our first game against Duke. Okay, let's get that. Now, let's just go to games and features. Or rosters and playbooks. Not rosters, let's go to playbooks. Okay. Here is our offense. Now, I got one under center formation. I picked I-form twins flex just because I like a lot of stuff from it. We won't use it a whole lot, though. As you can tell, our other 11 formations is all shotgun. So here's what the offense is going to be. It's a spread offense, more or less, but it's going to have a pro-style philosophy behind it. We're going to do a lot of basic runs, and the reason why I picked a lot of these formations was so I could run the ball without the need of a running quarterback. I wanted to test those 7 and see if I could run the ball effectively without the need of a speedy quarterback. I wanted to use formations and certain concepts to my advantage. So, like for gun split twins, the halfback is on the left side of the quarterback. I'll be able to run off to the right, stuff like that. Same with twin tight end slot. This is a 12 personnel set. Then, this was the base of the entire offense. Here's where I started from. Wing trips week, and normal wing T. I love having my tight end as an H-back or off the line. As you see here in all three, he is off the line. Especially in twin tight end slot, our second tight end is off the line. This is our base offense. We'll use some of it this year, but majority of it will be in the bigger sets just because that's where my roster lies. Then you got gun normal. I picked gun normal because it's got a lot of unique stuff in it. Trio halfback week, I wanted one true trio set. So 5 of the 12 formations are 11 personnel sets, 3 wide. Then you get into the 4 and 5 wide sets. I got a 2x2 set, double flex. I like a lot of the base stuff out of it. Then I got a trip set, trips halfback week. Then I got a 0-1 personnel set. It's a 4 wide with a 1 tight end. Love the stuff that comes out of it. And then flex tray, that is a 5 wide set. So I pretty much have every personnel set shown here. And I also wanted to show off a lot of newer formations compared to 06. Every single one of these minus normal, and technically some of the places here are not even halfback normal. It's more like normal halfback week. Are all brand new formations. Every single one. Trips halfback week. So that's why I picked a lot of these. Every one of them is brand new to 07. Okay, now let's go to practice mode. And let's do offensive only, because I just wanted to show you some of the things I'm going to do offensively. Again, I think this is a perfect time to do a lot of this in the preseason video before we get into the meat of the schedule. I hope you're excited about this as I am. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully it lets me just go right into practice mode and treats it as normal. I haven't fooled with this yet, but it should let me do so. Okay, it should let me do so. We're not going to do a whole lot out of I twins flex. That's when it's like towards the end of the game. We may just want to do some things under center, but we're not going to do a whole lot. Okay, now gun split twins. This is the new formation. What I'll probably end up doing, I got a decent fullback, but you'll see here, let's talk about the running game first off. We'll go through all the formations, talk about the run game, and then we'll talk about the pass game. Our base run game out of this particular formation, it's pretty cool. You got halfback direct, by the way, is QB slot option. Now, yes, I just said we're going to run a pro-style offense, and we're not going to do a whole lot of option stuff, but QB slot option is great because you go right here. Let's just go up to the 50-yard line so we can measure our yardage. You notice what it looks like here. I'm handing the ball off to my halfback, and look at all this protection. I got the fullback going with me as well, and I got my main tight end on that side. So I like having that extra protection on the right side. So I'm going to be doing a lot of handoff as such. We're probably going to be doing it like this on the right hash. Just in case the defensive shifts really hard to the right side, I can keep this, and I can just pitch this off to this guy and treat it like a normal halfback toss. Okay, but otherwise, this is going to be their main run play out of this formation. Okay. QB wrap is similar. As you can see here, we got a pulling tackle going to the left. But thankfully, our fullback is going to be plugging up that hole. At least he's going to try to. Now, this is a quarterback play, but you can hand it off to your running back. Our quarterbacks can't run it, so we're going to be handing this off. I could go up here. If the defensive shifts to the other side, I could treat it as a counter play, or I could follow the tackle coming up here. So I got a lot of options. If the defense really shifts to the right, I can just go over this way and do my thing here. So you pretty much just now saw the entire run game, the majority of it. Twin tight end slot, no different. Halfback zone, I'm not a big fan of that slanted blocking. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll also be using halfback direct at times, but not a whole lot. Here's a QB wrap. Zone read, we're not going to use it. Here's QB slot option. Again, this is just from a 12 personnel set. Look at all this protection on the right side. I could just hand this off to my halfback. Hopefully I get good protection, and I'm off to the races. If for whatever reason the defense is shifting to that side, I can just keep this, and we can do a basic toss and go on with our wide receiver if needed. We won't have to do that a whole lot, hopefully. So QB slot option and QB wrap is our run game from those two sets, and pretty much everything going forward. Now here's the stuff that I'm really excited about. Wing trips. Let's start here, and let's go to QB slot option. Again, no different. We'll go over to the left side just in case we got to pitch it to our tight end. Now, I can leave everything as is, and if I feel the need to cut up the middle, I can. But if the defense is shifting to our right, here's what I like about this formation. I can just move this guy over, give me an extra blocker, and I can go off this way. Again, I like having that extra blocker to the opposite side of the halfback. So that's really cool. So you're going to see a lot of that. QB wrap is the same thing. If the defense is shifting hard to the left, I can go here and look at all this protection on this side. I got a lot of blockers on the right. And I can show you some of this against the defense, but there's really no point. You'll see plenty of that in the games themselves. QB choice is our next one. It's another power play. And we can do it like this on the right hash. I can leave it as is. If the defense is shifted on that side, I can leave it as is. Or I could just get in the habit of moving this guy over. And look at this. I got a pull and tackle. I got a tight end. And I'm ready to go. Again, this is the reason why I kind of picked this offense. Was to do a lot of pulling, a lot of power-oriented type run concepts. And I'm loving this. Loving the extra blocking right there. Can't wait to start using some of that. Okay, that's the basis of it. Wing trips weak is the same thing. This is more of a passing formation for me. As you can tell, they got QB wrap, and that's kind of it, but they got some good passing stuff, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Normal wing tight end is kind of the same thing. We got QB choice and QB wrap. This is our power stuff. Halfback direct, which is very nice to have when you got the tight ends just sitting right there. You got that extra blocker to cut up field or go between the tackles, just whatever. QB wrap, QB choice. You got all this stuff right here. So, again, you go right here. I can go right here. I can move him over. I got all this protection over here. So I'm really excited about using all that. And it's no different in gun normal. And here's what's the cool thing about gun normal out of this formation, or this playbook. I started out with the Louisiana Monroe playbook for the sole purpose of using this particular formation. But what came with that was their version of gun normal. Now you go into gun normal, you can see here, it looks pretty normal to 06. Arrows, halfback corner, it's got a QB wrap finally, which is pretty cool. Halfback angle, PA wide receiver in, all that looks like 06. It got QB power. And then you get into the extra cool stuff. Now you got your halfback on the other side, to the left of the quarterback. All curls and such. Then you got, look at there, QB slot option. This is one of our base run plays. I got my tight end to the opposite side. I could just run off of that. Really cool. I'm really looking forward to doing some of this. Okay, you go back here. You got the zone read, but then you got the PA QB choice. Now this is a left-handed version. If I started using my left-handed quarterback, I'll probably be using this a whole lot. I can start doing some of this. But again, QB choice or PA, the PA reads, I can still hand this off and do my thing here of the halfback if needed. So that's going to be the other run concept. Then you got trio halfback weak. The other reason why I picked this one, or the main reason, of course, you got QB wrap, direct, and you got, look at there, a QB slot option and a PA QB choice. I got a backside tight end to get an extra blocker if needed to hand this off the hair. If not, I can just keep this and run a basic toss with my wide receiver, and we're off to the races. Next up is our 4 and 5 wide sets. Again, QB wrap, QB choice. We got QB power if I ever get a quarterback that can run at least a little bit. Halfback direct. But these formations are pretty much designed for passing plays outside of QB wrap and QB choice. Even when I'm going up against a dime personnel set, I can still do my power stuff as such. So again, my run game is going to be power-oriented, pulling linemen. Trips halfback weak. This is going to be another passing-oriented formation, obviously. But again, I got a QB wrap. I got halfback direct out of it if I need it. Draw still doesn't work all that good from the gun sets. It is what it is. And you got everything else is the passing stuff. So when it comes to the passing, I mean, we can talk a little bit about these. I'm not very conceptual because, I picked this offense because every formation is brand new to 07. I'm also going to run a really diverse passing system. I'm not going to stick to the same 5 concepts over and over again. I want to show off a lot of new plays from a lot of these sets. So we can go back to split twins. I could just tell you off the bat if I can use it or not. Wide receiver read, that's a great curl flat. PA dagger, I can use it. Clear out, PAF slide, that's actually a left-handed play action play. But I love the backside go post. PA read, halfback screen, tight end corner looks good. I mean, just so many plays that I can work off of. It's almost overwhelming, all the new plays they've added. So you go like the twin tight end slots. This is going to look very similar to the Ace Big Twins out of 06 in terms of the play actions or of the passing plays. All this looks pretty normal. Cross, halfback screen. Then they got like whip under that looks really good. You got double zigs. Mesh. I can use a lot of this stuff. Stick. I'm not going to pigeonhole myself with a passing game. Now with the run game, I wanted some consistency. Here you got a PA wide receiver end. That looks like a decent right hash play. Flood. Option pass if needed. PA read. This is a brand new one that looks. You can run off either hash for that one. Slot cross looks good. Gambler. I love Gambler. Here's the one that you'll notice about some of these wing formations is the tight end is either running an out or in. So for example, like Gambler. Okay, let's go. Let's pick practice type. Surely it will let me do this from here, and it will. Let's go normal. And like what you can do here is, for example, Gamblers are probably a good idea. Let's just try that. Hopefully this will be a good example. We'll just go here. So they're going man. Now I can leave the tight end over there, or I can give him some more grass to work with, and he can go. Oh, that's almost picked off. Let's try that again. Let's see if they go with another middle linebacker spy. Got a little extra room to play with grass-wise. Now, if he's going zone, I can leave that over there. I can keep him over there. Now, here they're going man again. But the reason why I pointed that out is there are a lot of pass plays from these wing play formations where you got a tight end running an out or an in, which is just great. Very useful against man or zone. And you'll notice some other ones here. Like Gambler, post dig is going to be a good one I can use. Trips attack is another good example. Let's talk about this one. This is like from Trips over from 06. Here they're going man. My tight end's got a lot of grass to play with. I can just go to him if I want to. We can go here. Get a few yards if need. Of course, he fumbled it. Now, we can do here. I can get to my X receiver if needed. And they're going zone. If I want a center beater, I can move my tight end over as such. Or I could just go to my main guy right here, and that's just a terrible throw. But you get the point. A lot of good stuff right here. We can try to go over here. Can he catch it? Yeah, he caught it. A really good play there. Let's keep going. Wing trips weak. Again, look at middle post. That is just a nasty looking play right there. I love that play. You got to dig with your tight end that you can move over from one side to the other. So that's going to be a great disguise. So you're going to see a lot of this. Like, I'm going to be running this formation quite a bit, and I can go with, like, QB wrap. We can run some QB wrap, and we're doing that. We can try to do this if we can. We can go here. Pick up a few yards there, and you saw me move the tight end over. I can also do the same thing right here. I can go middle post off the left hash if needed. They're going zone. I can leave him over there. I can move him over here if I need a quicker zone beater. And almost got picked off. But you see what I'm saying? I can disguise what I'm doing. And this ain't going to make a difference against the CPU. Against a computer, it would help a whole lot. But for running pass plays, you're going to see me be doing a lot of this. So it's going to look really cool seeing it from both angles. We can go over the top. I think they went cover 0. Oh, it's good defense right there. Okay, so you're kind of getting the gist. A lot of these formations have really good pass plays. Here's P.E. read, corners, all curls. The one main concept, the normal one, is going to be curl flat. The curl flat is just excellent in this game. A whole lot better than it was in 06. Almost got sacked. I was able to get the playoff. Curl flat in general is just great. Of course, this is curls. You would be playing this off the right hash because you got your zone beater on the right with your halfback. You got a few other zone beaters too over the middle if needed, but you can just go right here and pick up 5 yards. Good stuff there. Keep on going. The flag rats work a little bit better in this game as well. The normal, you can see some of the new stuff. You see me run scissors in a ton this year. I'll call some of that this year. Here's the lefty P.A. Reed. P.A. Indy's a good one. We're going man. I got a lot of options here. I'm going to try to go to my tight end. I may get picked. That's a good play right there. Good man. We're going here. Go to the dig. Oh, and another fumble. Either way, good stuff from a lot of these formations. I'm super excited. But here's the lefty all curls. We can go to trio, halfback weak. Curl flat looks good. PA dagger looks good. There's another lefty QB choice. Now, you can flip if you want a right-handed. It does work a little bit better if you're a right-handed quarterback with a halfback towards your right. But if you got a lefty quarterback, you use it as such. Slot drive. You're going to see me run this drive concept a lot this season. Hopefully the entire Dynasty. Here they're going man. We may have a lot of options here. We can go to the tight end. He's double-teamed. I'm looking forward to throwing to that guy a lot this year. But the drive concept is great. I like it. Halfback screen looks pretty good. Double whip looks pretty good. Let's see. This flanker screen is really nasty. We're going man here or man beater. We could go to either the halfback or the tight end. Tight end's a little bit safer if you can get there. Get a few yards there. If we're going zone, you can go to your screener. Try to pick up some yards there. Just a nasty little play. We can keep on going. Sail looks good. Cross punch. That looks like a right-handed version right there. Love this formation. Keep going. Double flex. There's a lot of new stuff here. Flanker curl is just incredibly good. Whenever I want to go with the 4 wide sets, I'll put my tight end in the slot on this one. Go over the center. Good stuff here. Just, so much fun. Great play. Every single route there is great. Then you got split end drive. Then you got your drive concept on the left with your go post on the right. P.A. Reed, this is a better version of the P.A. Reed from 06. I like the crossing route better. All 5 routes tend to work a little bit better together. Post drag, I love that play. Because in this formation, I'm going to be putting my tight end in the slot as such. We can do post drag. Here they're going man. I can try to go to my tight end if possible. As such, pick up about 15 yards. Good play there. You're going to see me running that a lot. Middle dig looks really good. I'll probably run that off the left hash. Halfback angle from the 4 wide set. I love trying to use it. It was a lot of fun to use at gun normal in 06. It's going to be a whole lot more fun this year. Or in 07. See if he can make this catch. Oh, what a catch. You see that? That was nasty. Look at this right here. Go over here. Look at him stretch out for it. Ugh. It's going to be so much fun to go into that guy. But we can keep going with double flex. Slot wheels, that's a lot of run and shoot stuff there. Wide receiver slant. Smoke halfback swing looks really good. You can work that off either hash. There's our QB wrap or one of our main run concepts. Trips halfback weak. They got flood. They got levels. Curl flat looks really good. I love that backside dig. We can go over here. I'll be using that off the right hash. We're going man. I got several options, but we can go to the dig. Right there. Here they are going there. Can I get to him and maybe get picked? That's good defense. Let's try that again. I think they're going man again. We can also go to this guy right here. Oh, that's a good hit. I want to see if they try to go zone at least once. Ain't going to work. That's going to get picked again. That guy's coming over really quick. Try that one more time. There we go. This one. Nope. We're going to have to go over here. Either way, awesome play. All 5 routes are really good. PA inside. Oh, 4 routes. My bad. Slot cross looks pretty good. That's a lefty play. Gambler. That's the 4 wide version. Inside switch. That's either hash. You got pretty much a curl flat on one side. With, you can go right here. Good little pick play to this guy. This tight end. And of course, since our best players are tight end, we're going to put our tight end in the slot on a lot of these. Trips tight end. Let's go. We may have missed a couple. No, I think that's it. Okay, empty trips tight end. Every one of these pass plays are just nasty. Cross, tight end drag looks good. Stutter slant, split in dig. That's either hash. Split in drag looks good. That's a righty. Mid attack. That's a lefty. I love this play. I don't know what they're calling. We're about to find out. Going here. Go to the tight end. He's a good man beater on one side. And you got... Look at this. Oh, that's going to be a guaranteed 5 yards with that cat every time. Awesome. Let's keep going. Let's see. The wide receiver screen. Look at that. That's just a perfect combination. That's my ideal type of wide receiver screen right here. They're going man. Looks like the outside guys are double teamed. We just go to the tight end, pick up another 5 yards. If I wanted to, they're going zone. I can either go to the our screener or I can go over the middle, but we're going to go to our screener. That's good defense. But just so many options. I mean, this is just a terrible throw. But it's a good little play, though. I'm going to be using that quite a bit. And I think I can use... Let's look at our formation subs. Wide receiver flip. You can switch your receivers. Tight end in the slot. We're going to be doing this a lot because our backup tight end is pretty fast as well. So from here, slot cross looks really good. That's either hash. Quick flats, either hash. Gambler switch, that could be either hash. Stretch looks good. Hitch corners. You can now hit the hitches against man in this game. Seam attack. That's be another good version of a Hail Mary if you want to use that one. Tight end drag and cross. All this is just nasty. Flex trade. We can put our tight end in the slot. Got some good stuff here. Got an inside high-low, shallow cross, combo, whip. All that looks good. Post. I can use all of this stuff. Dig smash. Clear ends. I like that play. Slot drag. Just so many new concepts, route combos. I'm loving it all. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the offense is about. Again, it's all in the shotgun. We are going to be... Our run game is the base of the entire offense. We're going to be running a lot of power, which is QB wrap, QB choice, and such. A lot of pulling linemen, tight ends, all that stuff. We're going to play action off a lot of this stuff via PA reads, PA wide receiver ends, stuff like that. Especially out of like this formation right here. I think PA wide receiver end. Yeah, this one's really good right here. Look at this drag by the tight end. I don't even think I covered that earlier. I think they're bringing everybody. Nope, they're doing that. Let's go here. Oh, good throw. Right where it needed to be. Good play right there. We're going to use a lot of play action off that run game. And then we're going to have your basic standard drop back passing. And it could be whatever. I mean, I've went through like 50-plus pass plays. All of them look really good. And here's halfback angle from the 3-wide set. Just really killer. Looks like they're going man, one high. We can go to our out route. Good play there. So many good pass plays. That's, again, I don't want to pigeonhole myself with the pass game. I want to use all of these in some form or fashion. Biggest thing I need to remember is where my third and long plays are going to be. Like wide receiver or scissors in, if I can find it. It's in there somewhere. There it is, scissors in. I'll probably be doing stuff from here. Like split in drive is a great right hash, third and long, stuff like that. So hopefully you got the gist of what the offense is going to look like. It's going to be balanced, but we're going to give it to our best players. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I think that's it. Come on back. In the next video, we will play Duke. Get our first game underway with our Cincinnati Dynasty in 07. I'm excited. I hope you are too. And I'll talk to you later.